Hi, I'm Curt Edelmann with the Franklin Fire Department. I'd like to show vendors who come to our Main Street festivals what they need to do to safely set up their tents and conduct operations. It's important for each vendor to look over their area to make sure that there aren't any hazards or any things that could cause problems. If you come up to set up your tent or your display and you find that you're smack up against the fire hydrant or close to the fire hydrant, mention that to the event staff, because again, we need to make sure that all of our hydrants are clear. We need to have access to the alleys just in case we have a fire during the event. So we ask vehicles to maintain at least 10 feet from the edges of the alley so that we can get our vehicles through it and make the turns. If it starts to rain heavily, the gutters are designed to conduct water, but what happens is that sometimes vendors will put items that will block the flow of water. Vendors should kind of pay attention that if it begins raining and water starts to pile up outside their tents, they need to make sure that that channel is clear so that the water can get by. One of our big concerns with tents is to make sure that the tents are properly weighted, because this is Middle Tennessee. We can have winds come up suddenly. So we want to make sure that the tents are all properly weighted to make sure that if the wind comes up that the tents aren't going to be blown away. People will ask how much weight should they be putting on their tents. We recommend 40 pounds per leg. If you're displaying merchandise, your merchandise racks can act as weight. Okay, some vendors will need electricity to operate their booths, and if they're running cords across the sidewalk, they need to be covered with mats or something to prevent people from tripping. Unless you know for sure if your tent is non-flammable, you need to assume it is. So keep any type of heaters or candles or anything like that at least 3 feet away from the tent fabric. All right, this is Dickens of a Christmas. Fortunately today it's going to be kind of warm, but sometimes it gets pretty cold. A lot of the vendors choose to bring portable heaters. This is one that we particularly like. It's got a couple of features. First of all, it's listed for indoor and outdoor use. We want it listed for outdoor use because if it just starts to rain or snow or something like that, it needs to be able to tolerate that. But it's also listed for indoor use. A problem with portable heaters is that they'll give off carbon monoxide. So this heater has special sensors that will prevent that. Another feature we like is that it has a very small propane cylinder. We try to avoid having the larger cylinders, especially on Main Street, because they can become a real problem if there's a fire or other emergency. Also with these heaters, they should come with instructions that tell you how far they need to be away from combustibles. If you don't have the instructions or the instructions didn't say, then a good rule is 3 feet. Keep the heater 3 feet away from any type of combustible, the sides of the tent or whatever. If you have any questions, you can call the fire department at 615-791-3270. We'd be happy to answer your questions. I hope you have a very successful event.